This is Lord Mafka, aka Roganizer, and in today's video, I want to talk about it is truly over for many Gen Z and Millennials. And I really do think that we do not have a future ahead of us, because if you look at how society is starting to decrease in the social awareness that the everyday person has, there are no more families. There are no more real authentic connections to where you actually feel emotionally connected to someone on a very deep level. There's none of that. You can't even have rational conversations with people anymore without them trying to beat you over the head with their political beliefs or religious beliefs, etc., if they're still believing in that. So when you look at society as a whole for Gen Z and millennials, there's not much that we have to look forward to. A lot of us don't even have our own houses. Some of us don't even have cars. A lot of us, we don't even have a family that can actually help us to get ahead more in life. We also have a lot of people in our age groups that are sleeping out on the street or sleeping in their car. They're now homeless. So when you look at that also, that adds another layer to why the birth rates are decreasing, because it's like, if your life is a living nightmare, why would you want to continue creating more human beings on this planet when they're possibly going to go through more torment than you possibly went through? So when you look at it for what it really is, we really don't have a future ahead of us. For the many of us that are breathing right now, there is nothing to be happy about whatsoever. And a lot of people will say that's just being ungrateful for the time we have left in our youth, or whatever little cope they try to come up with. But when you look at it for what it is, you realize the people saying this stuff, they're total imbeciles. And especially if you are a man, you aren't going to have anyone helping you. A lot of people are going to be trying to torture you for no reason. A lot of people are going to be trying to put you under high social pressure to break you, because it's some type of sick traditional social standard now to actually just shame men more and more until they end up mentally and emotionally breaking to where they can't be able to live on their own. Now they have a bunch of mental and emotional problems. Now they cannot perform simple tasks such as going to a 9 to 5, such as having normal conversations with people. They can no longer do those type of things because the social pressure has been designed to break them and take their humanity away from them. And even outside of that, just for Gen Z and millennials as a whole, for anyone in this age group, we are suffering on a very high scale socially. We don't have real relationships with our actual families, our moms, our dads, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, whoever. We don't get along with any of them, most likely, if you're having to sleep in your car and you're out on the street, or just overall, if you have to live with your family and you're arguing with them every day. And you could even have roommates that you're arguing with every day also. And that will make your life even more unlivable because you live in a very dysfunctional environment. And in order for a human being to grow in a very correct way socially and expand to achieve more greater things in life, they have to be brought up in a certain environment that is actually healthy. People around them that actually push them in a very positive and productive direction. And we don't have a lot of people that are willing to take that first step forward to actually protect other people, to actually speak life into other people. People would rather use their words to demean, to disrespect, and degrade other people around them. And this is the biggest problem that Gen Z and millennials are having right now. Everything around us is just basically designed to keep us from having high self-esteem. And when you have a person that doesn't have a high self-esteem opinion about themselves because of all the negative experiences they went through regarding their dating life, facing multiple rejections, having their family put a lot of social pressure on them to become a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, whatever they want them to be. When you have a generation going through that type of social trauma, you can't help but produce dysfunctional adults who don't even know how to start their own family, who don't know how to have relationships. They don't understand the actual qualities of building a society that is necessary for humanity to thrive. So when you look at Gen Z and millennials, You're going to see a bunch of people that are lost. They have no direction. They have no sense of clarity. They have no real ambitions that they want to go after because everything around them has been so desensitized to a point to where they can't enjoy anything. How are you going to enjoy your life when you don't have your family with you that should be a healthy role model for you? How are you going to enjoy your life when you're not able to date, when you're not able to have a healthy relationship with another human being and make something more of that? How are you going to have a healthy social life when you don't have friends around you, or heck, at least a few good friends? How are you going to have a healthy social life if you don't have friends around you that are loyal? If you don't have friends around you that are actually dependable, people that actually lift you up when you're facing very bad moments in your life. And this is the case that a lot of Gen Z and millennials are facing right now. So when a lot of people are speaking on this situation, they try to make it like, oh, Gen Z millennials, they're lazy. They don't want to put in any work. They want no accountability. They just want to have fun. They want to just back off from all responsibilities relating to work, starting a family. Okay, if we're going to go down that line of reasoning, who showed those type of derogatory examples first of the type of life that you should lead? Because if I'm aware of this correctly, you had all these things in the 1960s during the hippie era, during the whole rock era, to where that took off in the 1970s and 80s, to where it was just a whole rock and roll dude scene. You had those people doing all types of things, getting into substance addiction, getting into a high drinking addiction, enacting themselves in promiscuity everywhere. If anything, the people who came before are to blame for everything. They're the ones who don't want to take the accountability. The baby boomers, the Gen Xers, they're the ones who refuse to accept their faults and try to make some type of redemption arc for themselves by trying to be there for their children that are the Gen Z and millennials now. So when you look at people for what they say, you really have to look at what they do, because a lot of people, they will say that they want people to do one thing. They want people to do what they're doing, but yet behind closed doors, they're doing all type of degenerate activities. They're bothering people. They're living in a very unhealthy way. They're eating a lot of foods that are bad for their body. They're talking to people any type of way they want to, like there's some crazy stranger out on the street. So you cannot believe people that are trying to take up this whole, oh, you need to be more responsible. You need to be more high value. You need to do more of this so you can succeed in life. And this is the gold blueprint for how you're going to become successful. No, a lot of these people they're grifters. These are snakes. These are scammers. And the people that are telling Gen Z and millennials this type of stuff, they were the people who did all of the stuff that they're accusing Gen Z and millennials are doing. So we can't take these people serious at any moment whatsoever. So when you look at Gen Z and millennials, we are just a bunch of broken people who are trying to find our way in a world that has really discouraged us. So how is that even fair when you look at the state of Gen Z and millennials mentally, for everyone to judge and say, oh, they're lazy, they're useless, they don't want to do anything, when the people before us created the whole system? You created the smartphone. You created all of this technological advancement that we see right now that has been turned into a tool of oppression socially. They created all of this stuff. So you can't sit back and blame us for when things are going wrong when you contribute to it in the first place. Voice is starting to go out here. I have to hurry this up. But you guys already understand where I'm coming from when I say a lot of these older people who sit up here and criticize Gen Z and millennials, they were the ones who started all of the degeneracy. They are the ones that started the whole thing about promiscuity, promoting it in the schools, promoting it in the culture, promoting it in the songs that we hear today. So don't let anyone shame you for not knowing where you want to go in your life right now, because a lot of these people that you see right now, even in our age group with Gen Z and millennials who have this type of stupid toxic positivity thinking, to where they think, oh, if you just think better, if you just do better in your life and try to be more friendly, then people will open up to you. You'll get a relationship easy, no problem. when you have people in our generation that think like this, these are very privileged people. These are people who have never went through a shred of hardship whatsoever that has broken their soul, that has tested their very limits of their sanity. So when I look at these people talking, I'm looking at an entitled child who has never had to face the real world knocking them around, checking if they're actually authentic in what they're actually going to go after in their life or not. So you can't take any of these people serious who say that Gen Z and millennials are just lazy, they're the problem, because that's a very closed-minded individual who has no knowledge whatsoever about what we're facing right now. They are ignorant. They are the type of person that has no regard for anyone else, most likely. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times they have those type of characteristics, and they wonder why their lives look like crap, to why they haven't gotten ahead as they should have went ahead, because they refuse to help the younger generation. You see, all because they couldn't help themselves in the first place, all because they couldn't make the world a better place. So I cannot take people's word as a solid fact. I have to look at what they do. I have to look at everything that they're actually preaching and see if it's actually authentic or not, because a lot of us Gen Z and millennials, man, we're running out of time. We don't have much hope left. There's no amount of positive reinforcement that you're going to have at this current moment. If you've already been through a bunch of negative, horrible stuff, there's no amount of positive reinforcement that is going to build you back up. You know, the only thing that is going to help, from my opinion, would be having resilience, being able to withstand all of the trials that are against you. But again, that takes a lot of time of building up your endurance. How much can you take before you break? That's just what it comes down to. And a lot of us, we cannot handle this type of lifestyle. And there's going to be many of us, unfortunately, who will fall this year and who will fall next year, continuing on with after that too. So do not kid yourself and think that things are going to get easier anytime soon. They aren't. They're going to get more extremely difficult. And all I can tell you is you better be ready to take some blows from life, because everything is going to come full force like a whirlwind, and it's not going to stop. So work on being resilient and really work on building yourself to a point to where you no longer care about people's opinions, because that's how you stay controlled. But you guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment section. I highly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. And like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern woman. Thank you.